Hey, soul family, welcome to the full moon in Sagittarius. Who's ready? All right, so sun's in Gemini, moon is in Sagittarius. Gemini is all about information. It just like gathers data and thinks by knowing more, it can have a more rich, fuller life experience. The Sagittarian polarity is all about truth. Like, okay, all this information exists out there, but what does it mean? What is the deeper truth underneath all of it? And more, a deeper layer of that is like, what am I meant to learn from this? So, Gemini ruling thoughts and ideas, conversations, get togethers with friends. Many of us have Gemini friends who, they love to chat, they love to connect. Maybe there's a sense of more of like, okay, they're driving and maybe they're texting and they're talking to someone, they're listening to music and they're having a whole conversation in their head with someone else. And there's just a lot going on, right? And so sometimes all that information can feel like, what's the use of it? Right? Like, okay, I have great ideas. Now, what am I going to actually do with them? The Gemini, like, if everything starts in our imagination as a thought form, every single thing you look around you, wherever you are, everything around you was once a thought in someone's mind, right? And then it became into physical reality. Well, in order to get from thought to physical reality, what people like to say manifesting, which I'm not the biggest fan of that word or idea, because the outside world is only mirroring our inside existence. So it's like from the imagination and the mind come ideas. But in order to manifest or to bring into physical reality, you first need to digest those ideas. And the way you digest them is by feeling them. And if you don't feel your imaginative dreams of what's possible for you, if you actually don't feel it, if they just stay stuck in the mental body, then guess what? You haven't digested it, because we only receive what we believe. And if you don't feel it, you don't believe it. And sometimes that could be a little harsh because we want something, but we actually don't believe ourselves as worthy or capable or that the universe is going to bring it to us. So then pause, get back in touch with the thought form, chisel it in a way where it feels digestible. And when I say digestible, I mean that you have a capacity to feel passion, excitement. The hairs on your arm stand, well, I got hair on my arm, but like that, the sense of goosebumps. Um, that is like the energy in which we find ourselves. Now, the Sagittarius full moon is all about expansion and truth and like getting what we believe and actualizing it and taking these ideas and bringing them into existence. There's a sense of courage and going after it. And also, the word truth with a capital T is all over this full moon. Now, we'll come back to that, but the full moon itself is aligned with one of the four royal stars. There's four stars in the sky that the Persians, for thousands of years ago, they would look at, like one in the south, one in the north. Anyways, this one is at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and it's called Antares. To have anything conjunct it, it gives like an extra zhuzh. And here, Antares brings intensity and courage and conviction. It's like a fierce relationship with the truth. And so the question is, whatever's unfolding in your life, like, where are you being asked to align more deeply with what you know, with what you really know, even if it, even if it complicates the story, which is Gemini. Like, it's time to live what you believe. And at the same time, we have Uranus, the planet that frees us from unconscious conditioning, is squaring the nodes, the nodal axis of the moon. When someone's born with this energy, with this particular piece, it usually creates like sudden events in their life, redirect their trajectory over and over again. So the energy of it is, it's almost like old identity structures stop, like whatever the old story is, basically starts to dissolve. And new information is coming into our lives at this time, at this cosmic window, particularly this weekend and Sunday, Monday, and during this full moon time of like, what new truth am I here to embody? It's also a very electric energy to have Uranus square the nodes and north nodes in Pisces, south nodes in Virgo, to have this great liberator, which is what I call Uranus, because it liberates, it detangles, it frees us. It's an electric current. And to have it in Gemini, it's almost like a mental electricity. New narratives are forming. And yeah, in the outside world, this looks like AI and things moving faster and maybe getting a little bit more cuckoo and crazy. But inside for us, those of us who walk this path of intentional living, there's something here about being mentally adaptive to maybe new ways of healing for ourselves and learning how to break out of our comfort zone. This is very much a full moon of break out of your comfort zone. And with the North Node in Pisces being squared, there's something here about opening us wider to surrender through the mind. In order to surrender through the mind, you actually have to slow down. And I know I talk about this all the time. I'm a big fan of slowing down. Sometimes I think life is really just a game of letting go of resistance and coming back into flow and back into a sense of into the flow of life. And sometimes the water isn't rushing. Sometimes it's slower. And other times in life, everything's flowing so strongly. And the game really is to just harmonize with what is. Just if it's flowing low, okay, this is a quiet period. And when it's flowing fast, okay, pick the fruits. This is the time to harvest. And so wherever you find yourself in, whatever era of life, lean in. The whole game of letting go of resistance doesn't look like taking a back step. It actually looks like when the discomfort comes, when the sadness, when the anxiety comes, you are aware of it, you are conscious of it, and it's almost as if you're pushing your shoulders into it a little bit. Not pushing, but just leaning in. Because when you lean into it, you're moving forward. You're not in a defensive posture. You're not holding back energy. And so here there is something around trust and surrender through the mind, through your ideas. So pay attention. Pay attention, because the electricity running through the air it sounds like Wi-Fi, right? But it really is a sense of the fields are charged right now. There's something going on with synchronicity. So pay attention, because it's Gemini. Maybe a recent conversation, or you're passing by a stranger and they say a passing comment, and there's just wait, that applies to me too. Pay attention to the words, the signs, the symbols, the Gemini-ness of our physical reality. And I will leave you guys with some writing prompts. What recent conversation or realization challenged your perspective? Another way, I'm just to reframe that one, maybe what recently disrupted the way you've been thinking about something? Because a new understanding is trying to emerge here. Something's tapping you on the shoulder, and it might be subtle, and maybe it came through a friend, and then a week later you met another friend, and you're like, maybe I should do that differently. Something is forming, and it's coming in through the experience of words and communication, and it's tapping you on the shoulder of where you store your truth, of your embodiment. And so, yeah, what recently, I don't like the word disrupted, but yeah, disrupted the way you've been thinking about something. All right. The second prompt would be, what do people living authentically in a different way than you stir in you? And then whatever word comes up, why? Why does it stir that in you? And the last one would be, which old narrative feels too small for your current growth? What might you want to replace or expand with? Have a wonderful full moon in Sagittarius, and thanks for tuning in.